Former President Trump's classified records trial in Florida has been indefinitely postponed with no new trial date. Here's One America's Daniel Baldwin.
Judge Eileen Cannon vacated the May 20th trial date, but the kicker is that she is refusing to set a new trial date. She said doing so would be, quote-unquote, imprudent. The move came after special counsel Jack Smith's team admitted that the files at the center of the case had been tampered with. Julie Kelly, the author of the Substack Declassified with Julie Kelly, the person who's really helped expose all of this, is with us now. Julie, thank you so much for joining. Judge Cannon issued an order Tuesday laying out pretrial hearings, and of course the new trial date was missing. What are we to make of this?
So, Daniel, we knew this was coming. You can't pull off a May 20th trial date in Southern Florida when the defendant is on trial in Manhattan. So we knew that this was coming. What's interesting, to your point, is that she is now refusing to set a new trial date, calling it imprudent, based on so many pending pretrial issues. But Daniel, this does not mean that Judge Cannon's courtroom is going to be silent. To the contrary, when she issued this order last night, she set a series of hearings that will in many ways expose how dirty and corrupt this case is. She is going to hold hearings about one of his, Donald Trump's co-defendants, Walt Nauta, his motion to dismiss based on selective prosecution. She's also going to hold a hearing on a motion to dismiss based on the unlawful appointment of Jack Smith. And also, she is going to hold 3 days of hearings starting at the end of June on possible collusion between the archives, the DOJ, and the Biden White House to bring this case together.
Well, Julie, I'm looking at that order you referenced and some of the hearings that they're going to be holding, as you mentioned, specifically on the motion to dismiss for selective and vindictive prosecution, a non-evidentiary hearing on the defendant's motion to dismiss indictment for insufficient pleading, but probably the biggest one, and this is going to be in June of 2024, partial evidentiary hearing on the defendant's consolidated motions to compel discovery and to define scope of prosecution team. A lot of this seems to be focused on Jack Smith. Julie, is there a specific reason why it's looking at Smith and his team?
Well, because Judge Cannon, since the very beginning, knows how dirty this case has been. Recall, Daniel, she is the judge that appointed in September of 2022 a special master, a third party, to vet all of the evidence that had been collected at Mar-a-Lago, basically saying at the time she did not trust the Department of Justice and the FBI to handle that evidence properly. And here we are now. She has been exonerated. She was 100% right. Jack Smith has now admitted that evidence is not in the place where it should have been, where it should be. Evidence has been moved. The boxes, the contents of the boxes do not represent how the contents looked at the time right after the raid. And so in terms of this 3 days of hearing at the end of June, Daniel, this relates to what you just said, the scope of the prosecution team. But the defendants are arguing, and Donald Trump's lawyers are arguing, is that this prosecution team involves DOJ, the FBI, the National Archives, the Biden White House, including his general counsel, that they were all in cahoots in 2021 to bring this case, really entrap Donald Trump. So, of course, Jack Smith has been fighting this, this motion, but she's going to hold these hearings so the American public can see the evidence related to how these entities were working together on this case to bring this criminal indictment and once again try to prosecute and get Donald Trump behind bars.
It's kind of funny, Julie, 60 seconds. It feels as though almost the roles have been reversed a little bit. It feels as though Jack Smith in these hearings is going to be the focus point, almost as though like he's on trial in a weird, funny sense. Am I reading that correctly?
You are. That's exactly what I tweeted last night, that this set of hearings is basically Judge Cannon, in a way, to the extent that she can, putting Jack Smith, the Department of Justice, and all of these other entities, including the Biden White House, on trial to expose their collusion, their corruption. And she has always said that, she favors transparency. She understands what's at stake here. She understands the unprecedented nature of this case. And she thinks the American people are entitled to see as much as we possibly can and how the DOJ and then Jack Smith brought this case forward. So it's going to be an interesting couple of months, Daniel. There may be no trial date, but there's certainly a trial that will go on in Judge Cannon's courtroom for the next few months.
Julie Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. How can our viewers best support you and see your work?
Thanks, Daniel. So I'm at Declassified with Julie Kelly on Substack, also Real Clear Investigations. And as you know, I'm on Twitter, X, posting breaking news, motions, court hearings, court proceedings, regularly. So Julie_Kelly too.
Julie Kelly, thank you so much for joining us on One American News. We know you're busy. Thank you so much for making time
Thanks,
for us.
Daniel.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.